by you growing up and being reared in London,
Hmm.
in the UK, just like the African Americans in the U.S., some don't know about how the immigrant, the choices that you had made when you moved to the UK,
Hmm.
and what are the things that grounded you as an Afro-Caribbean um, person going to the UK to live?
Well, that choice, as we were told by our parents, why they moved, was because they were taught that there was a better opportunity in England.
Hmm.
They even kind of went on, there was so many people going like, "There's gold on the street." There's all these kind of different things that they were that people used to say. But I guess the main thing was that they were trying to uh, better their opportunities,
Hmm.
right? And then us growing up in England, we went through all the racism, discrimination, all that kind of stuff
Hmm.
in schools. As we walked on the streets, I mean, we had to walk in packs of threes and fours, as a kid, in case some skinhead group of people or Hell's Angel or Greaser, all these different kind of groups would somewhat not be so happy of us walking on the streets.
Hmm.
But I think that also instilled a camaraderie
Hmm.
amongst us as young um, Caribbean kids growing up in England, and
Hmm.
somewhat in the reverse of what they wanted, kind of gave us a foundation.
And now
You
in
know,
your bio, it said you always dreamed of music.
yeah.
So,
It's
what?
go on, go on.
How old were you when you realized what was your calling?
I don't know. I mean, as I said before, my brothers and sisters and the whole of my family,
Hmm.
and then from home to church, from church to school, from
Hmm.
school to house parties to sound system. I
Hmm.
was always encouraged to sing, to perform.
Hmm.
It's only now that I kind of look back and I think to myself, well, I used to watch a lot of musicals when maybe some of my brothers and sisters didn't want to watch musical.
Hmm.
And it's only now that I kind of look back and I think, well, damn, maybe I could just sense something,
Hmm.
or just feel a connection to the art,
Hmm.
and somewhat of an appreciation for the art, not necessarily the style of
But the
singing,
art.
but the art. And I used to listen to Sammy Davis Jr., Frank Sinatra, Dean Martin, all these different people that would
Hmm.
perform in these musicals. And my brothers and sisters would kind of think that was a bit strange.
Hmm.
But it's only kind of now that we can have a laugh about it and kind of go, well, maybe that was the reason. So I guess what I'm trying to say is that maybe I may have figured out the fact that I was into this from an early age.
Hmm.
Um, it was crazy because, as I said, my father was a very strict person, so I would seek for my own little corner under the bed or something, and then just sit there and just sing away my sorrows or my happiness
Uh-huh.
or my pain or anything like that. And I just felt like that was my haven,
Hmm.
that was my sanctuary. Singing was this room that I could find myself in,
Okay.
you know.
So, what other sacrifices, or what sacrifices have you that you had make for your career, the aura of sanity and joy?
Wow. I mean, this business, whether you like it or not,
Hmm.
you have to sacrifice.
Hmm.
Uh, it it hurts in many different ways, both with having a family and growing up your kids and all that.
Hmm.
There, it comes with its sacrifices, and the nature of this business is that you have to travel,
Hmm.
and you have to be in the place to be able to perform,
Right.
and that may be the other side of the world.
Hmm.
But your kids have to go to school and they have to have a structure. So there is a massive sacrifice. There's a large amount of sacrifice when you when you're starting out and maybe your friends are, you know, they go out, rave out the whole night, but you now have to go and do this gig, or a local gig, or go to the studio, or nurture this thing that you want. That doesn't always necessarily mean that your friends are going to be present,
Right.
or your family,
Right.
per se, you know. So it comes with all different kind of sacrifices, and unless you make those sacrifices, it's going to be very difficult for you to survive in this business. I say that music is very selfish. You know, music is very selfish.
And why do you say
Music,
that?
and because it's its own beast. You know what I'm saying? It's its own, yeah, it has its own movements. And if you don't follow it, it will leave you behind.
So what have you been doing since your last project? And
Touring and sitting down with folks like yourself and nurturing my works that I've put in, because the game has changed now. You know, the goalpost is kind of moved now.
Technology.
So yeah.
So how does that change your
But even that, you
structure?
still have to physically be somewhere. Do you know what I'm saying? Me and you doing this interview over the phone,
Won't be the same.
it's as much as we can get the work done, there's something different.
Right.
Do you know what I'm saying? And then here we are recording it. So that in itself becomes history.
Right.
Do you know what I'm saying? And unless we document our history, we somewhat fade. You know?
Very well. I believe that is the truth, because you got to keep going with with your
Yeah.
task.
So that's what
You
I'm
have a certain
doing.
task.
I'm out here trying to promote an album,
What is the album name?
Easy to Love, and that's
why is the
me.
title?
Easy to Love.
Okay.
It was just really the title track of the song that we decided to first put out. And it's funny because I've worked with VP over the years, but not really officially working together and in creating an album. And this opportunity came along, and we grasped it, and here we are with this album, Easy to Love. And the first single just kind of shot out there, and we got so much love for it, and then we just kind of went, you know, why are we searching here? The title is there in front of you.
So when would it be out?
No, it's out.
It's out now?
It's out, yeah.
Okay,
It's
we got
been
it.
out now from, I'm going to say almost 8-9 months now.
Okay.
The album's been out. And I want to say thank you to everybody for their support, because
Okay.
we've had a lot of tremendous success with it. And here I am today, again, another decade, another
So we got a couple
page
more
in
questions,
my
and then
life.
I know you got a busy